So I tried swapping the cables in the back. I moved the first hard drive because I thought maybe it was something with the backplane and the first port, because obviously this one started having problems then. So this morning I moved the drives down here and it did start resolving by itself. So I have this power supply, which is a Corsair HX1200i, and the connectors it has is a regular 24 pin, and then it has one 8-pin CPU. And it does have some additional PCIe/CPU power connectors, but the problem is it doesn't have any included cables for CPU. So if I take the included cables here, there's a GPU connector, there's some Molex stuff, there's a SATA connector, there's another GPU connector, so you could connect two GPUs, and there's a Molex connector. So it only comes with one 8-pin CPU connector, but it comes with two GPU connectors, so you could connect two 8-pin GPU, 2 times 2 8-pin GPUs, which I don't know why you would have such a powerful GPU in a 650 watt power supply and only have one 8-pin. I don't really get the combination of included cables, but I guess. So to fix this, I bought something, and this is a AliExpress special CPU power connector. And I did just have it out of the box just to make sure it was the right thing, but I haven't tested it. I don't know if it works or if it doesn't, but that's what we're going to try in this video. So I'll leave a link for this one down in the description. It did say that it is a Corsair Type 3/Type 4 CPU power connector. And then, on Corsair's website they have some documentation about what power supply model numbers have what type of connector on the back, and they have this one has Type 3 and Type 4. For CPU it's the same, I believe. I don't remember which one. I think it was the 24 pin. It says on their website. That's the only difference between Type 3 and Type 4. So this is a Type 3 4 CPU power connector on this end for the power supply end, and then a dual 4-pin CPU connector EPS 12 volt on the other end. And before I'm connecting this, I am going to test it out with my multimeter here, just to make sure the pins goes to the right places. So yeah, I'm not sure, I couldn't really find a pinout of the power supply end on Google. However, I have, as you can see on my screen, I have a diagram of what it's supposed to be on the CPU end. So yeah, let's get started. So what I want to start by doing is measure out the pinout of the power connector here. And what I've done is I've put my multimeter in beep mode, so it will make a sound each time I have a connection between the two probes. And so what I want to do is just measure off of a ground connector and just check if it goes to the correct pin. So if I have a diagram up on my screen, if I look at the connector this way, then so this, wait, which one, what's up and down? So yeah, it's gotta be like this. So this one should be a ground, if I'm reading this diagram correctly. And then if I go to the this is the one that's built in to the power supply, and we can just validate if that's okay. That's it's a bit hard to hold on to everything here. Did I need to jump anywhere? Okay, so what I'm confused about is why do I get continuity between everything? Like, what the fuck? Are you not able to measure? The ground and 12 volt shouldn't be connected. Is it because it's off or something? It's fucking weird. So, anyways, maybe we'll just we'll just connect the jumper and measure the voltage instead, because this is weird. So I'm gonna connect it to these 2 pins. If I can. Seriously. There you go. Ah, goddammit. PS on is, yeah, so it's the correct. So it's a bit, when you're looking at the diagrams, it's a bit, you have to make sure that if you're looking at it from like, so imagine the connector on the motherboard and this connector, right? It will be mirrored, right? So if you're looking at the latch, oh, my multimeter is mad. So if you're looking at it like a picture where you see the latch, but you have to know if it's the motherboard side or if it's the PSU side, because obviously it would be mirrored. When you connect it like this, it would be like the connector and the latch would be like that, but the connectors up here would be up here on this one, because you're obviously putting it like this, so, but you're looking at it like this. So I just had to make sure, because otherwise obviously there's no colors on this cable, so but this should be correct. And what I'll be able to do is, hopefully there's no dead shorts in this cable. When I will connect the cable and I'll just compare the voltages on the pins with a diagram online, because this one is a standard connector and this one is Corsair special. So yeah, that's the plan. So it's connected to the power supply over here, and let's see if there's smoke when I turn it on. We'll get rid of the 24 pin. So I have a power cable, and we'll see if there's smoke when I turn it on. Oh. Okay, it's on. Don't know why. Okay, I mean there's no smoke yet. So we'll take the, so this is the built-in one, and then this is the AliExpress one, right? I mean it's only 650 watts that I could get. So we have the multimeter here, and we're gonna put it onto. So this is AC and this is DC, because the one has hertz and the one has not hertz. So I'm gonna measure the voltage. So we put it, let's put it somewhere where you can see it when I'm measuring it. Let's put it there. And we take this one, and I'll just get the diagram up on my screen here. So, well, I guess, I don't know if this is, I'm looking at a diagram of the cable, but that shouldn't matter, because the side with the latch should be ground, and the side with the, well, the opposite side should be positive. So, should be pretty easy. Now, I'm gonna have to measure this and not, god damn it, my cable's stuck. And not die. So that's the first plan. I kind of need another hand, so let's just put it in here and put the other one. Okay, so you see negative 12 volt, and side with the latch is ground, so it's actually opposite. What? Ground should be, what? That makes no sense. So is this positive? Maybe the pinout. Maybe the pinout of what I'm looking at is wrong.
12 volt. So the latch connector, the latch part is positive. What the fuck? That's the built-in one. Is it the wrong diagram? I'm just looking at the Google up here, and yeah. Seems strange. So maybe this one, like, yeah, ground. So what I was looking at before says that ground is towards the latch. Yeah, that's weird. Ground and positive. So ground is, well, now ground is away from the latch on this one, right? So what is it? Not this one. I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna do the picture. So PCIe, so CPU power has the latch. Ground is away from the latch here, whereas here ground is towards the latch. So maybe this one is correct. So ground is, yeah, ground is away from the latch. Okay, that's weird. Okay. But that's what I'm measuring, so that must be correct. So we'll take the one from AliExpress. We'll just untangle my cables here, and we'll just check if we have the same. So we take, so what we just concluded is ground is away from the latch, so we might as well put the black probe there, otherwise we're going to get a negative reading, and it's just easier to do it the other way. And so we take this one, and this is extremely annoying to do with one hand, or with two hands only, but because you have to hold it and you have to connect it. So we're not connected. So we see 12 volt. So, I mean, should I test all of them? I should. Yeah, see 12 volt. So, looks like the cables are the right way around. I'm a bit confused about the pinout. This is annoying to do through a camera. 12 volt. And 12 volt. So all of them are at least the correct way around. I don't know if this is short in anything. I can't really test that because apparently everything is just shorted. So like if I measure continuity, so this is continuity, and right now the power supply is off. Apparently connected the positive and the ground. Well, now it's not. What the fuck? This makes no sense. But because before it was there was continuity between these. Maybe it's some weird state of the power supply. Oh yeah, now you see it. If it will focus, but yeah, you can see each one of these. That's weird. Like, why is it connected? When I look at this one, this is like eating with chopsticks. It's fucking impossible. Like when I look at this one, it's not connected. Like what? It's because it's connected one way but not the other? Okay, so if you measure one way, okay, that's actually interesting. So if I measure it this way, then it's connected, but if I measure it this way, then it's not. So I guess that's kind of some electronics things that I don't know. But in conclusion, I think, considering it has the right voltages on all 4 ground and all 4 positive, it's the right way around. I can also conclude that the pins on, so if you look at both of them like this, the first row up here all go to this row here, like individually. So this one goes to this one, and then the next one goes to the next one, like that. So they go to the same pin on like the same number of pin, but just the opposite row, which, yeah, sounds correct, I guess. I don't know. So I think it's time to. Should I plug it into my server to begin with, or should I test it on something else? Just thinking about what else I could test it against, or should I just YOLO it? I think I'm gonna YOLO it. The voltages seem fine, so what could go wrong? Well, now it's time to look at my server again. I installed a 1200 watt power supply to solve the issue until I could receive the new cable. So I'll be taking out the 1200 watt power supply, which is a Corsair HX1200i, because it's way too overkill for this server. So yeah, as you can see, I have changed a bit since you last saw it. I have mounted a fan here instead of having the little tiny fan on the HBA, which, yeah, it was just easier because then I could, part of the troubleshooting I did on the old one was to move around the PCI Express slots, and that was way easier to do if there wasn't any fan on the HBA. So just see if I can disconnect the cables down here. A bit hard to get to. So just disconnecting all the modular cables. Last one. Get to it. Okay. So we'll just take out the 4 screws. And the power supply should be free. It's quite warm actually, considering it should be low running. Shouldn't be producing much heat because it's running such low wattage, but I guess it's still not that efficient because it's not that much of its capacity that I'm using, so the efficiency is not very high. Get out the cables and the beloved CPU connectors in here. I think you can I hope you can see better than the last time we looked in the server. I did find a different tripod that I have in the basement, and it's a bit taller than the other one, so hopefully it's good. It's a Molex connector. And to get to this Molex connector, it will be way easier just to open up the front of the case. And I hate Molex, goddammit. Thank you. I really hate Molex. Molex is the worst. It's always so stiff and yeah. Let's see if we can get this serial connector out. I mean, in theory they should be intercompatible because it's the same connector on the Corsair power supplies. They're both Corsair, but I like to keep the original cables with each power supply, so I know there's no mismatch. So I'm swapping the cables. Okay, so we'll just we'll install the old power supply back in its rightful home. I think I'm gonna connect the CPU power before I put in the power supply, because there's not a whole lot of space to work with. So I'm gonna lay it like here. I'm just gonna. So I think the 8-pin, I'm gonna keep the 8-pin from the original, from the pre-installed cable. And then the AliExpress is just going to be the 4-pin. I don't know which one is actually the main one. Which one, if it's drawing like the main amount of power through the 4-pin and then just auxiliary 8-pin, or if that's how it even works. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. So the 8-pin, because I assume that it's going to be drawing the most of the power through the 8-pin. I don't know, they're just connected to one big plane. I'm just gonna distribute evenly. So it's a bit hard to maneuver in because I have some fan cables that like to be in the way. So I can get those out of the way. I can also get the power supply in, take it out the way. There you go, finally. Okay, so we'll hold this in place and just very quickly, one finger, screw in just loosely, grab another screw. Perfect. Okay, then we can screw in the rest. And actually, you can't really see much down here about what I'm doing. Perfect. Okay. So all of the screws are installed and the connectors are connected. I think I'll grab one of these Velcro ties and just kind of tie all of the connectors together here in a bundle, just so they're out of the way. Trying to get it tight. There you go. Yeah, good enough. Good enough. Okay, time for the 24 pin. And it goes like so. Really nice. Can also be tied down if I wanted to. And then we have those connectors for the SSD and for the Rolex stuff. So we're gonna plug into a peripheral connector. And so this goes the top one here. And the second one goes for all the hard drives, and then the rest of it goes, if I can untangle it, seems to be having some fun here. So the last cable that I need to install is the SATA power, which I don't really need at the moment, but yeah, then I just make more work for myself whenever I need to swap out this power supply. I have a bit more work to do, so that was a joke. So it would be nice and convenient when if I'm gonna install an SSD in that slot. It would be convenient if there's already power. So that's why I'm doing it. But yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done it last time because it just made more work to take out the old cable. An additional cable that I needed to remove. So I don't know if you saw any of what I did because I apparently blocked the whole view. But essentially what I did is I routed the power cable right next to the motherboard, and I routed it in behind here. And shut up, Google. So yeah, it just comes up right here, and same with the data cable. I'll plug the data cable back in. So if we just kind of stash those to the side, we can take the fan and we can put that back into place if we get the cable out the way. So the SATA and data comes up here. The fan kind of just rests on top of the cards. And yeah, if we look here, we can see the cable management of the two CPU power connectors, and we can also see kind of the loose cable here, and the 24 pin is just also kind of just hanging out in here. I'm probably not going to tie that together. This is kind of a big bundle, but the 24 pin, it's kind of holding itself, so yeah, it's going to stay out of the way by itself pretty much. So yeah, we're pretty much finished and ready to power up the server. Seems to work. So far so good. Fan is spinning. We get a beep. Get a signal. So I mean, it seems to power on. The real test is going to be to see if the hard drives start doing the weird thing that they do. So just gonna quickly plug in my keyboard and get into the BIOS, and I'm going to leave it for a little while just to see what the hard drives do. There we go. And we're just going to leave it. So the server has been on for a few minutes now, and everything seems to be fine. I haven't heard that the hard drives have spun down or made any weird noises. Now I can't really run an Ethernet cable over here because I've configured my Proxmox to use the SFP card, and I don't have any fiber cables on hand. I only have direct attached copper, and I don't think I have one that's long enough. Maybe I'll just go check. Apparently I'm a big fat liar, because I do have this one, which is a 3 meter 10 gigabit DAC cable. So that's kind of redundant saying DAC cable because it's direct attached cable. Anyways, it just barely reaches. So I have the end, the other end of this plugged into my switch, and this one just barely reaches and plugs in the other way. So we can kind of turn it the other way, and it plugs in and links. So we're gonna reboot, and we're just gonna leave it connected for a little while with this cable running all the way across the room to the server rack, and we're gonna see inside of TrueNAS if everything is working, and we're maybe gonna do a little bit of a test. So the server's booting up now, and yeah. Well, the server has been running for a little while now, and I just checked inside of TrueNAS, and everything on the hard drive seems fine. Last time when there were some errors, I could see that there was errors over in this column here. And as you can see, well, it says no errors all the way down. Well, that pretty much means that I can conclude that the fault with this power supply and this motherboard was definitely not connecting the second CPU power connector. While I can't say anything about the capacity of this new AliExpress cable, I can definitely say that it works. Just make sure that the one that you're buying is made for the specific model of power supply that you have. Don't just look at the brand, say like it's a Corsair power supply. You need to actually make sure that the specific model number is supported for that cable, because the pinout on the power supply end is not the same across even the same manufacturer, but different models. It's not the same. So you need to double, triple make sure that your model number has the supported pinout for that cable. And with Corsair, it's pretty easy. They have a very easy to follow chart on their website that states which model numbers have which connectors on the end, and you can just go on AliExpress, search for Type 3 CPU Corsair 8-pin connector, yeah, it works. I don't know how good the conductors are. They're probably not up to the quality of the original, but it's not like it's drawing a lot of power in this server. It's just for some reason the motherboard needs power from that connector. But this is a 12400, so it's not like it's drawing a lot of power, and I'm actually going to be using that capacity of that cable. So I think we're going to shut down the server again, and we're going to put it back in the rack. So I've just told it to shut down by hitting the power button. With most operating systems, if you hit the power button once, it will send a shutdown command to the OS. So actually, just by hitting the power button, all of the VMs will shut down and Proxmox will shut down properly. While if you hold the power button, then it will kill the system. But just pressing it once, also in Windows, if you press the power button, it will actually do a correct shutdown. Many people think that if you press the power button, it will shut it down incorrectly, but that's not the case. So I just took out my long direct attached cable, and the only place where that's actually different is on a laptop. The power button usually puts it to sleep and not shut down, but that's something that you can program inside of in Windows. So welcome to another episode of installing my server into the rack. In this episode we're gonna install the server. Okay. Thanks for watching. Here we are in the back and we're gonna start plugging in stuff. So we have the, I don't know, I still have the 2.5 gigabit connected. Not that I really need it. I'm not using it anymore, but I still have it connected because I didn't reconfigure my switch either. So that's connected back to that, and then the other end kind of fell down, and it's a bit annoying to do with one hand. So just gonna switch hand and connect it there. Good. And the power cable. And I already know I'm not gonna be able to do that with one hand. So power cable is connected. Turn on the switch and everything should be all good. So it powers on like usual, and you're gonna hear the hard drives are speeding up. I think I'll just be watching the server for a little while and make sure that there's no errors, and then in the meantime I can also take the 1200 watt power supply. And the reason I bought this one was not really because I needed it for anything specific. It was just too cheap to pass up. It was around 1200 kroners, which is, you know, 1 kroner per watt. And usually this costs like 2300, 2200 kroners, so 1000 kroners more. So it was almost half price. And yeah, that was just too cheap to pass up. So I thought I'm probably gonna need it one day. Maybe I'm gonna get a powerful graphics card one day and put it in my main desktop, or, you know, build a powerful server or something. I'm probably gonna need it, and it's not like they might get more efficient the more time passes, but it's not gonna go bad anytime soon. It might go bad one day because of capacitors and stuff, but I think it's probably gonna last 10 years, if not more. So yeah, it was too good to pass up. I'm gonna put it back in its box with all the modular cables. So all of these cables are for my 650 watt power supply that's currently in the server. So I have this box with all of the extra stuff for the server, and I think I'm just gonna put in all of the extra modular cables for the power supply that's currently inside of the server into this box, so that if I ever need to plug in more SATA stuff or graphics card, well, then I know exactly where the cables for that power supply is. So it just barely fits. Put the motherboard manual on top. Then if we take the box for the 1200 watt and all of the cables for it, there should be more cables in the box, if I'm not completely wrong. I'm gonna package it up nicely, so we're gonna put it inside the little sleeve here. We just so that the power supply is in the off position, not that it really matters, but it'll just be nice. And don't worry, the only reason I kept the box for this power supply was because I knew it was going to be a temporary install in that server, so I knew I wanted it to put it back in its box when I was finished with the temporary install. If I bought this power supply for a specific build where it would be permanently, I would probably just throw out the box. But yeah, that's the only reason I kept it, was just because I knew it was temporary. I knew I wanted to put back in the box when I was finished. So I don't keep power supply boxes around. I do keep other boxes around for some reason, but not for stuff like this. We're just gonna plop it there, and inside of this little box you can see the other cables, including the IEC power cable. And I'm just gonna see if there's room for this whole bundle, or if I need to take it apart. The whole bundle can just definitely go in there. And then we have the 24 pin, which takes up a bit more space than I would like, but I think it will fit. Yep, so it fits. So now, whenever I'm going to need this power supply for a project or just for testing something, where I just definitely want to make sure I have all the power that I could need, I have a complete power supply. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. So if you enjoyed it, definitely make sure to connect all of the power connectors to your like button. If not, it might start failing. When it's working, just make sure to smash it and leave your thoughts down in the comments below. And I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.